great record on a bad artist is not a hit. An okay record on a great artist can be a hit.
Now, when it's a newer artist though that you're working with, when you're talking about telling that story, how are you telling that story? And I think we can go back to a little bit more of the ecosystem, right? Yeah. How is it that if you hear a hit record, because there's tons of great records out there, but they don't. Do you think they all get heard? All great records get heard and can become massive, or do you need to, like you did back in the day?
A great record
throw
on the wrong
money into it, throw a good strategy to it.
Okay, a great record on a bad artist is not a hit. An okay record on a great artist can be a hit. Well, not the biggest hit, but has a chance. Like, look, Taylor, Ariana, Beyonce can put songs out that other artists wouldn't even get in the top 200.
Sorry?
No, I'm fine. Those artists wouldn't even get their song, wouldn't even be a top 200 song, but on a big artist, it might be a top 20 song.
Top 10, top 20.
Top 10, top 20. And it won't be a big career song for them, but it can be big.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Probably with the way streaming is in this day.
Yeah, that can work. Okay. On a new artist, you have to have a really special record.
Right.
To get heard.
Right.
Because you don't have the fans. So you've got to get word of mouth. And people aren't looking out for your next record. But what you need is a team of believers. You need enough believers on your team, from your manager to your label. It can be your publisher. You know, it can be all these things. You know, the story of Big John when he hears Empire State of Mind as a full song and it gets sent to him. I can't remember if it's Guy Moo or the writer or whoever sent it to Big John. And he came back and he says, yo, can you take the verses off? And they take the verses off. And he sends it to Jay.
Oh, interesting.
And he says, check this hook, check this track, it's incredible. And the chorus is, you know, New York, and you're from New York, Jay's like, boom, go, let's do it. It's that artist with that song, the A&R knowing that's the right thing, and that becomes a mega hit.
Yep.
Right? It's the right artist at the right time with the right song. Pooh, that's dynamite. But it takes an army of people to make a career. So if you're sat there arrogantly going, I want to do this and I want to keep that and I want to, well, you're making it harder. The more people fighting for you, the more people on your side, the more chance you have of being successful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, you can go into a big company with lots of people and you get lost. Well, again.
Very easily.
Very easily. So sometimes a good team of believers is great, but that good team of believers have got to get my concentric circles.
Yeah.
They've got to get more people to believe.
Yeah.
Another circle. More people to believe.
Let me ask you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
You're like 3 or 4 years removed from Capitol.
Yeah.
You decided to do your own thing independently, which I want to talk about now. But being 4 years removed from that now.
3, yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
2025, that was 2020.
End of 21, so I start 22.
End of 21.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel now that you left that system? Because you're talking about how...
Nothing but love and respect for the people. Yeah. Nothing but love and respect for the system. But I feel there's an incredible moment happening where the middle section of music is getting bigger, bigger, and bigger, and bigger.
Was that a part of your decision?
Part of my decision was the minute I left, I got a call from one of the majors and offered a label deal immediately. But even though it was a label deal, and even though I would have owned majority percentage, it was a job. Yeah, I could sell it at the end and think, but it's technically a job. However you dress it up, and I would have loved to work those people. And there was a bit of me that went, I've done 31 years. I've had some of the, you know, my artists have got Oscars, won American Music Awards. I'm using a lot of American ones here. Grammys, in the UK, Alvin Novello's ASCAP Awards, CSAC Awards, BMI Awards, Billboard Awards, Disney, every award you can win.
Yeah.
I've had diamond singles, platinums, everything. And it wouldn't have happened without the people at Universal, wouldn't happen without people at Sony, wouldn't happen without people at BMG before that.
Right.
All these people allowed me, help my artists have hits. But I felt this is the first, since 2016, there's been a shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been paid incredibly well. I've sold those pub companies I had, and I've done really well. And I felt to truly do one more thing, I'd love to make an independent company of significance that could help artists throughout the world have hits in every country in the world, make differences to people's lives, in the so being make difference to my own life, and achieve again. I'd done it in the system.
Yep.
I would love to, and I had an opportunity at one stage to come and run an American label, but due to family circumstances, I had to reject that opportunity. I don't want to discuss that, but that happened, right?
What year?
I don't want to say because it's not fair on the person who took the job and did very well.
Okay.
And I wanted to do that job, but family circumstance didn't allow it.
Okay.
New challenge is to have a globally successful record company that we start from scratch, that helps artists and can have the next Weekend, can have the next Sam Smith, could find the next Taylor Swift, could find the next Ed Sheeran.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there's an opportunity. Would I partner with a major along the way on some of those artists? Potentially.
Yeah.
No, I
Never say
think-
no.
Never
Yeah.
say no. Love those people.
Yeah.
One of those artists might say, I'd rather stay independent and I don't want to go in the system. I would argue with them the pros and cons of it, but can do it. Can we have hits in every country in the world? Well, currently, the Imogen Heap record, which we're working, is so high up in the charts, I think it can be achieved. Our Latin record last year, Kiki, Tengo and Plan, has been a humongous Latin record, right? And has streamed incredibly well. We did that ourselves with sound on distribution because it was already in the system there. Can all these things happen? Yeah. Do I feel now? I think there is layers to the business now.
So, can you talk about those layers?
Yeah, I think the majors are there to service those incredible catalogs and the superstars they have.
Yeah.
And they're looking in every artist to be the superstar of tomorrow. I would love to find a global superstar. I have, and I will, and I'll find others again. I genuinely believe that. But there's an area where they don't look because there's only so much they can do.
Totally.
And there's so much music.
Yeah, yeah.
And AI will mean there's even more music.
And the model seems like it's now distribution mainly. Well, a lot of it is distribution with the labels.
I got to be honest. I've got so many good friends in the system.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak anything negative.
I don't think that's negative. What I'm saying.
No. It's changed even since I've left. It's changed.
Yeah.
They also, two of them are public companies.
Yeah.
That's changed the dynamic and thing of
completely.
it. I think when we look at record companies building up around the world, there's some big companies building, have built, are doing well, are building outside of the system. Look, Concord just bought STEM, so they're going to be in distribution.
Yeah.
You've got Create with Broke, great, the new world companies. You've got Avex just started with Brandon in America.
Yeah.
Right? So, and they're a privately owned situation that do $1 billion in turnover already, before they even start. They are fast growing companies. My own company is growing crazy fast. If you look how much we're turning over and how quickly we've done it in 3 years, it's faster than any other company I've ever. Look, even when I went to Universal, it took me 3 years to have a hit.
Right.
We had a hit in our first 12 months.
How big is the team?
10.
10 again.
Again, yeah, I like that number.
You
It's a
like
good
that?
number. I like that number. It's a good number.
Yeah.
But so
Soccer player's number right there in
11.
South America.
I don't know. Oh, you mean Messi and
Maradona. Is Maradona?
Maradona was Maradona's a 10
No,
as
for me
well.
it's Valderrama. I think Valderrama was number 10.
Valderrama, you like Valderrama?
I'm from Colombia.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Your goalkeeper's the one that did the crazy.
Higuita, Scorpion.
Yeah, the Scorpion. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Rene Higuita.
Yeah. So I believe there's now a whole new layer, the middle layer, that's growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. By the way, the majors still take more and more money, and they're still becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, and making more profit. But the record business is growing so quick that even the majors, what the majors are doing now, look, Rob's being very public about it. They acquire lots of things.
Yeah.
They acquire AWOL. They acquired Downtown and Fuga. They're acquiring these things. They buy catalogs. You know, the labels are now. When I first joined the record business, the prior period, you know, Universal Polygram didn't start as a record label. They bought Island. They bought A&M. They bought all these companies, right? They bought Def Jam, right?
Yeah, people forget that.
People forget that. I think we're in this new era. I think we're going to build a load of record companies.
Yeah.
And they'll be acquired by whichever entity they are.
Fuck, I never thought about that.
And that's how I see it now.
Wow.
We've just gone full circle. We're back in the age of independent people. Look.
And so, what does that company look like then? So, for your company, what are the positions that you have in there? What are you focusing on in terms of like? So it's 10 people A&R.
There's 12 of actually I lie. There's 12 of us, me and Christian included. There's 10 staff. We have one office manager, one person does sync, and everyone else does A&R.
Marketing
we outsource.
Outsourced.
We're in a digital age.
Yeah.
We hire everyone to do everything.
Gotcha.
Look, I've had with my artists so many billion stream records, so many multi-platinum records, but put me in a studio and there's a desk and there's the instruments and say make a record. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I've been a producer, I've been an artist, and I was terrible, right? But I can hire the best writers, the best musicians, the best producers, the best stuff, and I can sit in a room and say, I'm feeling that, I'm not feeling that, right? Doesn't make me, but I can't actually make the record.
Yeah.
So I don't need those songwriters sat around waiting for me all day long.
Right.
I'll call them when I need them. I'll call you and say, I need a girl to help me out in this. Is Jessie available? And you say, yeah. She's doing her art singing at the moment. But actually, you know what? She's taking a couple of weeks off to write with other people.
Yeah.
I'm feeling your artist. Let me send it to her, right? I can make that call to you.
Yeah.
I don't need to have you say, look, keep her on hold for me for 6 months. You'll be like, bro, I ain't keeping her on hold for no one, right? So I don't need my own writing team. This isn't, back in the day, Motown, they had a full-time writing team. They were incredible. That's how they did it. I don't want people sitting around, you know. And also, someone who works an African record versus someone who works a Dutch dance record, they're different people.
Yeah.
They're different people you're plugging. It's different relationships. I don't need the same people.